Hi, guys.
yeah.
Happy day after Polly birthday and Veterans Day.
Yes, this is the
Right?
day after the cruise, Vegas, and Paul's birthday.
And
And Paul's sharing Navy. There, you can kind of see it,
here
folks,
you
not
can
you
see
audio
it.
people. For audio, Paul's showing us his picture of when he was in the Navy at the ripe
Yes,
age
as a
of,
vet.
he looks 12 years old, but I know he's 21, I guess.
No, I'm 19.
Okay, all right,
You're
1912
19
back
in
then.
that photo.
That
And
was
Artistry.
1971.
and so he's
1971.
Yep.
showing us this picture of him in what apparently looks like a yearbook, a naval yearbook. And
Yeah.
under it says he's from Beverly Hills.
Yes, Beverly Hills.
And
And
that's
That
what we're
one
going to
nobody
learn
ever
from
word.
that.
asked me. Yeah. It was funny because, we were in, actually at the moment that all happened, we were in Glendale, you
Right?
know.
But like,
Yeah.
aren't you
And
supposed to put you're from like either Rhode Island or where you were born, Richmond, Virginia,
look at, I've
Norfolk?
joined in Glendale. I was from Glendale at that
Okay.
time, and they
Okay.
put Beverly Hills in there. I don't know who did that, but it was the beginning of my drag of boot camp, and that's why I started boxing because people were going, "Hey, Beverly Hills! Hey, Beverly Hills!"
Can I comment just from
Yeah,
that? I
Of
think it
course.
was intentional. Number one, it was intentional. I'll tell you why I think that. Because at 19, Paul, you are recently off the top of the pop charts. Okay. And I mean
right.
recently off the pop charts. It's like
Yeah.
it's the what are you doing here moment of your life and all that business. So they're gonna nail you with he's Beverly Hills.
Seriously,
Oh,
you
here
think
comes
that?
Cowsill. Here comes Cowsill.
Yeah.
Maybe some attitude of one person that got on the paperwork. I don't know,
Wow, that's
but he
Yeah,
pretty
I don't
said it
cool.
know.
clearly set a tone. You're going to hear, oh, here he comes, Beverly Hills. But, on arrival, they know who you are, what you did, where you're from, and you're rich, and you're probably a snot. So it's like,
Yeah.
right? All right. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry
absolutely.
about that.
No, that's
Apologies
okay.
from the Navy.
Well,
Yeah.
Paul,
But
but
what
just
that
the
did do,
same. Go ahead.
what that did do though, it spurred me on to become a boxer. And then I was there for everybody to go, "Hey, you want to fight me? Let's do this." And I did it like, God, I did it 9 times. And I had everybody coming after me, and I never lost. Ever.
You are a nut.
It was
See,
great.
they pushed him into defense. Now, look, when you join the Navy, you want to shoot a gun off of a ship, you want offense. So right off the bat, they stick this guy in a gym with gloves
Yeah,
because we're all going to come at you.
good
We're all going to
point.
come at you. It was the opposite. I mean, no wonder you didn't last, but
What, Polly?
Listen, I can tell you. So what we did was we would go to Camp Pendleton, which was right by us, the Marine base where they had their Marine recruit training. But what they had there was our firefighting buildings where they put them on fire, and you got to go in and you got to go from one end to the other and get yourself out of there. And then they had the rifle range. And so I and we had all these Marine guys walking up and down, making sure we had the gun right and all this. And man, guys, you are so tired in boot camp. They get you up at 5, they run you ragged, and you get to bed whenever you can finally get to bed, and you were just plumb tired. So when it was rifle range, and so every company in boot camp went to Camp Pendleton to get their rifle. It was a flag that you would get with 2 rifles like that. And everybody had to pass the gun class, okay, the rifle shooting, the
Sure,
M16 thing.
sure.
And so I was there, and I had my gun up, and the Marine comes by and he kicks my elbow. He goes, "Hey, get that elbow in closer to your body like that." And he kicked me, and the gun fell, the rifle fell and shot downrange where guys were out
Shut
changing because I didn't have the safety on. I was
up.
supposed to have my safety on, and it wasn't. I don't recall ever touching the safety in any way, but that gun went off, and I was off that rifle range, and we did not get our rifle range flag because of me.
to the boxing gloves. Back to the boxing gloves.
Yeah.
You
Well, he
were
was good in
not
the ring.
making friends.
He was good in the ring. We thought it might transfer. Well, it didn't. Okay, that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So
Wow.
it
That
was a
is
freaking
incredible.
nightmare.
It
Hey,
was.
hey, so everyone, welcome to the podcast.
Welcome.
Yes.
We are post cruise, post Vegas. We kind of came limping into Vegas minus two of our warriors, and we got through it. And if anyone's out there that felt like, what's with these guys? It's chaos. It was chaos to me, Vegas. And
Well,
so
it was a
you're trying
lot.
to touch base, but you're sick also. So now you're navigating, well, do I act sick or do I act not sick? And then people get mad at me later for being sick. Why didn't you say, look, it's a nightmare. You can't win it. You can't win it. We're home. See, getting healthy. Susan just coughed again.
Still working out my
You know,
kinks
I
over here.
I did get COVID. I got
Yes.
COVID schmovid, baby, and it's not good. It wasn't good, but it wasn't horrible. Like, man, I had COVID, what, 2 summers ago? Did I get that bad
Yeah.
one?
So you really did end up with that.
Wait,
I
so
did,
Bob,
I did not. Go
Bob,
ahead,
did you
Paul.
test yourself
Absolutely, absolutely,
and you
man.
came up positive?
Yeah, when I get home,
And
but
Russ and
Oh,
I
from the
went, we
cruise?
when
went
you
to the
know,
doctor
you
and
know when you
tested.
know, and you just ride it out. I went on the prednisone for Vegas, like you guys,
Yep.
talked about with
Yep.
me. And
Yep.
you just try and right the ship so you can stay around. Look, this ocean on this cruise never settled down. Okay. This cruise was a series of minor earthquakes. Okay. Constantly, it seemed like there was an aftershock going on. It's true.
You are right, man.
And
Honest to
I'd
God.
be
And I love a
walking,
good active. I like a ship that moves,
it
but
moved,
this
and
one
I'd be
never stopped.
walking, and the entire ship would pull me left. Okay. The whole pull was left as I'm trying to walk on a number of occasions, by the way. And
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
this thing was tilting and a stilting, man. And it's
I
it's like,
think
all right,
the
we even skipped a
combination,
port. We had to skip a port because of it.
we did. We had to
From
skip a port.
overstating it.
I think the combo of the rocking and the rolling and all of us being stuck on the ship because we couldn't go to ports because we were rocking and rolling. And then we all came down with the crud. And then we clawed our way to Las Vegas, folks. We clawed our way there.
We did.
And with antibiotics and steroids by our sides, we brought you our show.
We could.
Which was
No, it
really
was good.
fun.
No,
Oh,
it ended
Polly,
up, and of course the show itself, it ends up being great and fun and
such a
worth it.
Oh,
blast.
yeah.
The
Yeah, yeah.
question and
I
answer.
do want to digress a little bit back to the cruise. So a couple of things. So the ship that we were on is much smaller than the Summit.
Yes.
So this ship was reacting to these little swells we had much more than the big ship.
Yes.
Okay. And the other thing, and I don't know what you guys thought, but man, I'll tell you, it seemed like but we loved it out there and we had so much fun and we'll do it again
Wait.
forever. But man, they go out at the end of October when we're still kind of in hurricane season.
Oh, yeah.
And prior to us departing Fort Lauderdale to the Caribbean, there were all these things on the weather thing, these shoots of red going this way and that way. And man, but we got out there and we never really, we had some swells, we had some rain, but it could have been so much worse because right when we got home, there were more of these things coming in. So, and they've done this cruise for 14 years. So they must know kind of almost exactly what the weather is going to do.
Wow.
They
would have to at this point, and they're prepared for it. That's why.
Yeah.
The only ones who know it, by the way, because I don't know if you start getting, how you open your phone and there's articles in the news and this news and that news and feeds and that and that. And all of a sudden, here they are. Oh, the 10 worst cruise experiences ever, is
I
in
love
front of me.
those.
But
Yeah.
I swear to God, it's like if you're looking for a sweater and you dare look, they're going to send you 85 versions. Anyway, so this happened to me somehow with the cruise, where I'm getting all these articles about what can go wrong on your cruise,
The
or someone,
algorithm thing, Bob.
or even a more current, like this person fell off, they can't find him, and
Oh my
so I'm
God.
on my railing looking at the ocean, and you think of a story like that when you get on your cruise, and you just can't imagine the horror of it. And so there you are on your railing, experience the horror of drowning and falling off a cruise ship rather than like go to the buffet and get some mashed potatoes and relax. It's hard.
Oh, I know it.
My favorite film is of all that, and I love watching those. I have no issue with the ocean. I've been on a lot of ships in my life, and I've been through hurricanes on a drill ship, which is like low to the ground, and man, that was crazy. But oh, I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, you
But I'll
had
remember.
Yeah, you will, because it's
During
about
that kind of thing. Yeah, like you're okay with the ocean. Like
Oh
I'm
yeah.
okay with the
And
ocean as long as I see land, but go ahead.
oh, so I love, there's one video out there that shows this grand piano going from
I've
left
seen that.
all the way to right and people dodging it and
I've
doing
seen it.
all this stuff. I just love that one.
You
I
You
should
love them.
sent
I
that to
watch
me one
them for
time.
wait a minute.
fun.
It's moving on a cruise ship on its own because of the swaying of the ship.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
But
I
I'd
mean,
get
it
out of
was
the
I know.
piano
moving.
room for sure. Good
I
Paul
Lord.
had
love it.
sent that to me one time. I have
Can you
Oh
received that
yeah.
from Paul.
imagine the
Yeah, yeah.
real horrible experience? I mean, I read the articles. I'm going on a cruise. I'm not going to not read the 10 worst cruise things that
Yeah,
happen
yeah.
to people. You know, terrible things can happen. They're their own government. They make all their own
Yeah.
decisions.
They do.
Whatever.
They do.
And I love
It's
them.
fun.
By the way, Alan, I love the
We
cruises
love
more than
them.
life itself.
We
Love
would
them.
never give up our cruising years for anything.
You know what? But aside from all that other stuff, yeah, it was a smaller ship. Yeah, even more intimate crowd. So the interactions were great, guys. And all you people that make us feel so welcome, all of you people that
It's
interact with us
amazing.
and even want to stop and hear a story, it's like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Thank you to all of you
Yeah,
people out there that
I
do
feel the
that.
same way about all these
Awesome.
cruises. Every single cruise we have the privilege to work on, I have not enjoyed any of them. They all have a different pace. They've all got different levels of energy, obviously. Food's always the same and great. But I don't know.
Yeah.
And personally for me, walking around the boat and we get to hear like a continual soundtrack at all times on the ship. And this last one was brand new. It's all this 50s kind of stuff. And I thought it was absolutely like a total new kind of vibe. I loved it. I
Yeah.
love the malt shoppers doing it.
Yeah.
All have their
And
own identity.
they do. And next time we do the malt shop, you know, I think we can put a couple of more songs in there that are relative to that timeline
We will.
of,
A little
we
Hello,
could do a
Mary.
couple of Everly Brothers
Yeah.
songs,
Hello,
just to
Mary
I
shake
could
it
do
Lou.
a
up.
Patsy Cline
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
Boom
yeah.
Shakalaka. We're malting and shopping.
We could do
Yeah.
Kathy's Clown pretty good, actually.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
anyway, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right. We'll
Oh, and Leslie Gore. I heard a lot of Leslie Gore on that coming out the pipe. All kinds of fun stuff. I look forward to kind of exploring that more next time. It kind of came up on
Yeah.
us, if you will.
Yeah, yeah.
that kind of snuck up on us. And actually that in combination with we find the cruise in itself kind of re-identifying itself, and they know they're leaving one behind and embracing the next one coming, and now we have a little combo thing going on, which is cool. We'll be the bridge, part of the bridge for that. We're into that. But yeah, we
Definitely.
could learn some Hello Mary Lou, Ricky Nelson or something, from
Yeah.
back in those
Yeah,
days.
yeah. We could do Ricky.
Hey, you guys, who's on our show today?
We have a guest.
We have a
Yes.
guest. We have a guest.
I wish we had a song that we could insert right now. We have a guest song, like because it's so unusual. No, but we're gonna have
Yeah,
guests all the
yeah.
time now,
Star
all
of
the time.
the day, who will it be?
Guest of the
Your
day
That's a
is
good
birthday,
one.
Chris.
hold the key. It's up to
It's
you.
Chris
Tell us.
Ruggiero coming at you today. Where do you meet this guy? Okay, Chris
Yeah.
Ruggiero. Now, to let you know, we've performed with Chris, and little to us did we know he's performed with a lot more famous people than us, but we can get into that
Yes.
later. But
Yeah.
he has opened for some of the combo shows that we do, and with other acts. He's here right now in his own little
Oh,
square. Look how handsome he is. It's incredible.
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Chris.
Hi guys. Thanks so much for having me.
It was so fun to meet you originally, man. You blew our minds that first time we played together, and
First,
just
yeah.
that all this great music and was coming out of this kid who wasn't even he wasn't even a shadow of his parents' eyes yet, and he pulls all these great songs. He does them so well, gang. If you ever get the opportunity, and there's many opportunities to see
Yeah.
Chris out there,
Chris
man, you've got to
works.
take in his show. You've got to
Thank
see
you.
this.
Well, I have to
You'll
say the feeling is mutual because you guys blew my mind. I could not believe the harmony but just three of you on stage. It sounded like there were six people up there. I kept peeking behind the curtain to see if someone was singing on another mic, and there was nobody. It was just three of you.
It's some kind of science equation, I've been told, having to do
That's
with
what
the
they
beat.
say, and you definitely got it down pat.
Well, thanks.
That's what they say.
Hey,
Plus,
guys,
Great.
go ahead, Bob. Did you want to
No,
say something to Chris
well,
before
I
I?
just want people to understand that the first time we saw Chris and heard him sing, it reminded me of other artists that I saw that I don't call them reincarnates because the guy's not a reincarnate, all right?
There other
But
people aren't dead.
but one of my reactions was like, in terms of Chris himself, who is this kid who seems a bit beyond his years and a bit artistically a bit evolved and at a level I'm not used to. I mean, I've seen it in a few other artists probably, but that it was live in front of me with Chris, that first performance, Paul, that's when it happened. You're going,
Yep.
what the heck is going on with him? And
Yeah.
that's what the first member audiences look at you while you're winning them over with your talent, of course. Which better because if you sucked, it would then go, then why is he on the stage? What the hell's going on? But
Fully
all the
point,
time
Robert.
you're passing this quiet audition in the back of everybody's head that have seen you for the first time, and you wound them
Yeah.
there while they're looking and going, what is going on in front of me? And that's what we want to get into.
And
Thank you.
Go ahead, Chris. You can respond to that.
Thank you for the compliment. That's why I wear nice suits, because if I'm not good one night, at least I look halfway decent on stage. But it was something that maybe at first, when I first started singing, didn't come natural to me, because when I first started singing, I just did what every singer does: is you mimic the records that you love, or the singers that you love. So when I first started singing, I was trying to sound like Paul Anka and the Duprees. And it wasn't until Joe, my manager, started working with me, and until I met Clint Holmes out in Las Vegas, when I really discovered my own voice. That's when it all changed, actually. Clint Holmes said to me, how would you sing Put Your Head on My Shoulder if you never heard the record and someone was next to you and you were telling them to put their head on your shoulder? And that was the end of that. It was from then on there, it was just sing the songs how you feel them, not how you heard them,
What incredible advice. Are you guys cool if I maybe bring Chris back a little bit further into his youth?
Chris, we're going to go back in time, not a far jump with you, but we're going to go. Go ahead.
We're going to go. Well, just because, look, of course, you are an established artist and have been, for quite a while now, even belying your young years. And we know you got here. In fact, you just gave us a little bit of your journey. But when we are born and we come into this planet and this world, we're kind of new, and not every person born has the calling or knows about the calling even, and they might have other things that they might have wanted to do other than, in your case, this music. So did little Chris ever have a desire to hop on the fire truck and put out the fires, or become a doctor, or was music always in your life? And did your folks have any kind of influence in this area?
So it's funny that you asked that. I never thought that singing was a possibility, because I thought that you had to have a hit record, like you guys had multiple hits, in order to be a singer.
Okay.
And it wasn't really until I met Joe, my manager, 4 years back, when he pulled my coat and said that you don't have to have a hit record. There were plenty of singers that had an amazing career, even working in Las Vegas and doing tons of shows, just based off of being a really good entertainer and a good singer and storyteller. And so that was when the whole thing shifted for me, and it really was my dream to be a singer. But when I was much, much younger, no, I had no idea that I even could sing. I wanted to be a plastic surgeon. And
all right,
that's what I'm talking about.
Not many people know that. And then I found out how many years of school I would have had to do, and I quickly decided that plastic surgeon was not going to be for me. And it wasn't until I was about 12 when I heard this kind of music for the very first time, which of course was introduced to me by my grandfather. So he gave me the bug for singing.
Oh,
Now,
Go ahead, Bob.
what we hear, we did this also, by the way. This is in our history, and a lot of the histories of all the singers and groups we talked to. A lot of us started out in our school choirs at whatever level. Ours was grammar
Yeah.
and grade school, and not high school, but grade school. We experienced that for the first time. And I think we read where you got into that. That might have been an early sign of your singing. Yes?
Yeah, I actually, a teacher forced me to join the men's choir in sophomore year of high school because she knew that I loved the music and thought that I could sing. And so I did join the choir, and I put together a rock and roll show at our high school as a fundraiser for the Lions Club. And I was a part of this men's choir in school at the time. And it was a show. I forget really who was on the show at the time, but they needed about 20 minutes of singing done in the show from our men's choir. And so we were supposed to go, maybe 10 of us, and sing at the show. And what happens? Only 5 kids show up. And we still have to kill 20 minutes. And so we sang a couple of the songs we were going to sing, but we still had a few minutes that we just couldn't fill without the other 5 kids. So someone says to me, "Chris, can you sing?" And I said, "I guess." So I went out and I sang Diana. That was my very first time on stage ever.
Are you kidding? Now, did you do that a cappella?
No, I sang it. They had a track behind me at the time because I wasn't even working with a band yet.
Karaoke.
So it was me with a karaoke track in front of about 700 people in my high school auditorium. I couldn't even breathe. I was so scared.
Oh, did they love you though, Chris? Be honest.
They did, and that led to a whole nother thing because it led to a friend of mine telling me that there was a PBS special, and there was, or excuse me, not even a PBS special because I didn't know about that yet, but that there was someone looking for young singers to sing older classics for a show.
Wow.
And so I sent in a video of myself singing, and TJ Lubinsky called me back a few days later. You guys know
TJ.
We do.
And he invited me to come down to Asbury Park, New Jersey. And I had no idea what was happening. I thought I was just singing on another rock and roll show. But we get to the theater, and there's a million cameras everywhere. And it turns out that I was singing on a PBS special. And he had me singing with the Duprees, and I sang "You Belong to Me" with them, and I sang a couple other songs on my own too. I sang Diana, I sang "Put Your Head on My Shoulder," and that was like the best day of my life. That was actually my very first time on stage with a band.
Wow.
One question in this story. I need one thing cleared up at the very beginning because everything's momentous with you. You're put in a spot that leads to another spot. So you use the term forced you into the choir. Now that reeks of it's jail or the military. So I'm curious as to what you may have done to be forced into the choir and away from wherever you were headed. Tell us about that.
Well, it wasn't a punishment by any stretch. It was a teacher who really admired me, and I loved her a lot. And she knew that I didn't want to do the choir because of the songs they were singing. It wasn't my stuff, it wasn't our kind of music.
Right.
So for that reason, that's why I didn't want to join the choir. And she told the choir teacher, because she was very good friends with her, that I really only liked music of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So the choir teacher, in order to get me into the choir, they added in the Still of the Night to the set list for the choir. And that's what we sang, which was right up my alley.
Wow.
How did that become your alley already? I mean, you were born to love the 50s, 60s, and 70s? Son? Is this your grandfather or?
So like I said, my grandpa introduced it to me when I was 12. And when I was in this choir, I was about 16 or so, call it. Okay. So I already had a couple of years of listening to the music.
And those are important years that when you're around 12 years old, everything matters. It's when you start figuring out who you are, what you look like, what you want to look like, who you want to be. So that makes complete sense. I'm getting chills because that would be, music that's brought to us by our people. Our mom brought Christmas music and classical music to us. And there's a thing about that. Yeah. What do you got, Polly?
Well, I'm just wondering, so did you ever, though, along your road here, ever think, man, I just want to be in a rock band, man. I just, I want to do that instead of,
No, because I really only liked this kind of music. And so for me, it was definitely no rock band. And I didn't want to do anything that had to do with rap or music that was newer. Because in school, all the kids were only listening to Justin Bieber and Taylor Swift and whoever else was really popular at the time. And I was really different. It was actually hard for me to make friends then because we totally didn't agree on music, on cars. I loved classic cars.
You're from another time, dude.
So was your mom and dad musical?
Not at all. My grandpa was a singer. He grew up singing singing doo-wop on the street corners of the Bronx, New York. And he was very friendly with Larry Chance and the Earls, and he used to sing with them. And he had his own group as well. So he was musical.
Okay.
And what about your brother?
Not at all.
Okay.
Was there any, did you ever hear the words from your parents, whatever happened to my son, the plastic surgeon?
No, they never say it.
Okay. So they supported you. They supported you. Or support you now. Supported. I act like he's old.
Yes. No, they supported me and still support me 100%. And they're glad that I'm doing what I love.
Cool.
The first time they were sitting in your audience and saw a beautiful show that you put on like you do, was there a moment of like, oh, we understand what you're about now, my son?
Oh, they loved it. Actually, I was nervous, but my mom was even more nervous than me. She gets more nervous than I do at my own shows.
We know about
you do
that.
not get nervous. You are ready to roll.
I don't anymore, but she still does.
Listen, there's a whole group of parents of baseball pitchers in high school and little league that live that. Okay, we all understand that, how the mom suffers just because the bases are loaded. Like what? Okay, but that's okay.
Yes.
It's a girl thing,
That
guys.
is awesome. So you're busy. We do have a question about a couple of things. Our paths, we have connections between the young 25-year-old Chris here and the Cowsills. And the name is Charlie Colello. And what we want to tell our people, Chris, is that Charlie Colello, who our fans know, arranged a couple of our songs off our We Can Fly album in 1968. If you want to really hear the most beautiful Charlie Colello Cowsill work, It's a Time for Remembrance, is the song off the We Can Fly album. That's Charlie's arrangement, and it is gorgeous. And at the time we're working with, we don't read or write music. Charlie does. So he's our guy, right? And we're just communicating verbally with Charlie. And we know he's this guy, he was a fourth season, I mean, I'm 17 with this guy. He's the god.
That's in real time, man.
He is absolutely. Because when we started recording, it's with guys like Charlie Colello and Artie Strecker and Herb Bernstein. These arrangers were running the rock scene of the day with the Wouldn't It Be Nice type of recording sessions. And we stepped right into that. And now you work with Charlie today.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us.
What a nice experience. He's the nicest guy ever. And you would never think by talking to him that he had such a big resume and he did all these amazing things, because he's just so down to earth and sweet. And it was so nice to work with him in the studio. He absolutely is the best arranger around. There's no doubt about it. And he did an entire album for me, 12 songs on my I Am Hero album.
How old is he now? How old is he now?
I think Charlie's 85.
Okay.
Holy cow.
And I think his son works with him now. He works with his son, which is awesome. I know that.
He's just so, and he's still working. He's still out there, and he even helped do some other songs on the album. So we've done probably close to 20 arrangements together, songs together.
Oh, great.
And he's just the master. It's so great working with him, and he's so open to different ideas and stuff. It's not just his way. It's, if you have an idea, throw it in, and if he likes yours better, he throws his aside and he'll use your idea. And that's really what happened. It was a lot of ideas that we brought to him that we created in Las Vegas with Clint Holmes, because Clint was really a big part of my album. And like I said before, finding my voice. And so between Clint and Joe and myself, we had so many ideas that we had recorded, that we had Charlie listen to, and then he just made the arrangements that filled the songs that we worked on. He did such an awesome job. I love him.
Chris describes I went through it with him. I was very young, but you go through this with an arranger where you don't know what to write or anything. So you're talking, and then you watch this guy turn it into paper
Wow.
and symbols and everything. You go to the studio, everyone's got the paper in front of them, and he counts off to 4, and it's like, holy mother of God, you know. So it's like, if you've never experienced that rapid kind of from the brain to the paper to the musicians to the recording, it's unbelievable.
It's so
Right?
nice to just hear the arrangement come to life, to hear it for the
At
first time.
once. I mean,
It
when
is
Jimmy
great.
Wisner did the Rain in the Park and other things, we came in and he counted off 1, 2, 3, 4, and we heard the Rain in the Park and other things, all done. Because
Yeah,
everyone's in the studio. You got 30 musicians doing their parts with lunch
yeah.
bags, you know, next to their leg on the chair, but they're there.
Wow.
And they got to
Well,
get it done in 3
may
hours.
I ask, how did you bump into Miss Darlene Love?
Aha.
Love
Well,
of Christmas and the love of Christmas.
well, so okay, so
Okay.
I was asked in an interview who my dream duet partners would be. And on the short list that I had, Darlene was one of those people. And a friend of Darlene showed her this video that I said that I would love to do a duet. So
Oh,
she
wow.
had her people reach out to my people, and we had
Story,
a
love it.
lunch, and we had a
Yeah.
lunch get together in New York City at her favorite restaurant, the Palm. This was 2 years ago, and we hit it off right away. I mean, it was like we've known each other for years, and I told her how much I loved her music and her, and how much she meant to me and all her music. And I grew up on the Christmas music because Christmas was and always will be my favorite time of the year. And she asked me what I was working on, you know, what I was doing. And I said that I was working on a Christmas album, and we finished 11 songs. We had this one last song that we just didn't know what to do with. And she said, let me hear it. And so we sent her the song. And a couple days later, she called us and she said, well, I know what to do with it. I think we should do a duet on it. And I
Oh,
was hit
wow.
the floor because now I knew I was going to do a duet with my dream duet partner on a song that we really didn't know what to do with. And so we gave the song to a friend of ours. His name was Bill Fain out in Las Vegas, and he's no longer with us. But we told him that we heard the song in kind of a darker meaning than it really was the original recording. And he arranged it and gave it to Charlie as well. And Charlie finished the arrangement, and it just came out so nice. Darlene and I, you know, we're old fashioned. So a lot of people today, they'll record the song separately. One person is in New York, the other one's in California or wherever.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
We didn't do it that way.
Good.
We recorded
Oh.
the instruments in Florida at the Power Station Studios. And then I flew up to New York and I recorded it side by side with Darlene in the Power Station Studio in New York City.
Wow.
So we did
Nice.
it the old fashioned way, and it was great. I came out a better singer after singing with Darlene. I mean, how could you not?
Of course.
Right,
You know
right.
it?
It was
Wow.
awesome.
Did you get the video it?
Oh,
Yeah.
of course, we got great videos. And then to
Oh,
top
there you
off the
go.
whole thing, we got to sing it on Good Morning America. We sang Grown Up Christmas List on Good Morning America.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
We can all go find that, I'm sure, on YouTube.
Listen,
Every
Chris
Oh,
is-
yeah.
call.
You
Yes.
know, it's great when you, because Chris, we always do the deep dive of a guest, you know, that's deeper than a normal dive. And so when we get into your deep dive, it's like, good Lord.
And we were just on a cruise with Darlene Love. So I'm sitting there
Oh,
going,
wow.
humana, humana, humana.
That's right. You
I'm-
guys did the cruise.
And I'm going, oh, we did choirs. I go, Christmas is our favorite holiday. We know Charlie Colello.
Yeah, she
Who
could
is
care less.
this
We should have
guy?
mentioned
Again, I
Chris.
say, but I do have a question because, and you're very young for this to unfold, but of course it comes to my mind because you are the classic guy to take the reign and take the helm and own Las Vegas. Not now, but, and I'm not meaning to box you in it on anything like that, but there are
That's a
amazing
beautiful thing
careers
you're
of
saying.
people who
Mhm.
learned how to bring the audience to them and stop
Mhm.
having to go to the audience. You know, I get that part of it, but you just seem to be, you could own one of those places and they know you're there. And every
Because
year
you
they
care. You
add.
care so much. And listen, we're on this Happy Together tour every year. Music is about the communication between us and them, and you really bring that. You really bring that. And Vegas is kind of like, that's what it's all about. So I agree with my brother on that one.
Well, thank you for the compliment. You know, Vegas is they've seen everyone. out in Vegas.
Yeah.
You know?
We said
So
hello a couple of times.
yeah, I mean, so for me, actually, my very second show ever, my full 90-minute show, we did in Las Vegas.
Holy
And
cow.
because Joe said, if they like it in Vegas, they'll like it anywhere because they've seen the best of the best shows.
Yes.
And thankfully, that night we sold out in the room we were in, and it went over really well. And so that was kind of a really nice thing for us to know, okay, it works here and it should work anywhere. And since that time, I've done 15 shows in Las Vegas, and we've been invited to come back to the South Point now, the casino, every year. So I've played their room now
3-night
for the last
place,
couple
right?
of years.
Yeah.
3-night, yep. We
Yeah.
play on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. And I've been doing that now for the last 3 years, three years, I guess. Yeah.
I was actually thinking like 25 years from now, when you're at the ripe old age of 50, you come into Vegas, you say,
You're a prophet,
okay,
Bob.
now I'm here. Okay. And long proven
No.
the justification will be way behind you. But it's I'm glad to know that you've had good success there already.
We have, thankfully, and they are always so good to us, especially in South Point. Gosh, they just treat us so great. It's always such a privilege to perform there. The crowd is great. The showroom is great. It's just a perfect place to do a show.
What do you got,
Yeah.
Paul?
Well, I just wanted to ask Chris, so how is it, and was it hard, or did you just go right into it, playing with a full orchestra? I mean, we've never gotten to do that in our whole life, I don't think, but maybe, but I don't know. But how was that?
Really?
You know?
Well, back to the PBS thing from when it was my first time on stage with a full orchestra. There were strings. There was probably 15, 20 pieces up there.
Yeah.
I was nervous as could be, but it sounded just like the record because it was such a big band up there. So I was used to hearing the record, and it was exactly the way that I had remembered and learned the record.
Oh,
So
fun.
for me, it was great. And by the way, that day on PBS, I was the only person, along with the Duprees, that didn't get a sound check. They ran out of time, and I was the only one that didn't have a clue what I was doing. I really needed the sound check.
Yeah.
And I didn't get it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my, but oh my God. But like, look, when you're your age, you can kind of take this kind of level of excitement. People,
I guess. And we did it in one take too. It was great. A lot of people had to go back and do another take. We did it all.
You are nature. You are just the nature of what music is. It picked you. You didn't pick it, and you live it, and you really embody it. And honestly, for those of us who still listen to music because we love it too, it is very inspiring to know that like you're sitting there the beginning of your whole life and career with all this incredibly beautiful energy surrounding such a cool thing to do. It just makes an old woman very happy, Chris.
Thank you. It's made it a lot easier to have a lot of great people around me and have the support of a lot of groups at shows, because when I did a lot of the rock and roll shows, and now I do more of my own shows, but when I first started, I did the rock and roll shows, I didn't know what to expect from the other groups, because these are guys that had hit records, and why would they want to have me on a stage with them, or why would they want to be nice to me or care about me? And everybody's been so great to me, and including you guys. I mean, it was just when we met, you were the sweetest, nicest people ever, and thank you for that.
Well, same
Well,
feeling.
you also have Joe. You have Joe in your corner here.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's a perfect setup. Here you are an artist, and your manager is a guy that puts on concerts all over the United States.
It works out pretty well.
Yeah, it certainly does.
And not only that, but with Joe, I'm glad you mentioned Joe, Paul, because he's kind of a big part of kind of your Brian Epstein a little bit in terms of this is more than just a manager. You're going to get some guidance here, and we love that. We love Joe.
Cares.
Yeah, and he puts together terrific packages, and he sends this kid out to loosen everybody up for the veterans and the oldies and the goldies behind him. But we do appreciate, Chris, how you respect what you took on. and we know you respect it. You look good on stage. You
Sound
respect even the look
amazing.
you respect, and go, this goes along with the sound. This is how this was done. And in terms of working with Chris and Joe, in terms of other places, they all know that you work a lot, and they know how easy you are to work with and how great you are to work with. And man, talk about a kid you want to send out there to sing to your audience. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, and somebody to know, this has just been a feel good kind of connection. Joe, and Joe is one of a kind in his arena as well. He's like that man. His vibe is right. Go ahead, Paul.
He's a beautiful guy.
Mirrione. Get his last name.
No, but Joe's a beautiful guy, and he treats everybody with respect.
He does.
And when you see Joe's coming through and he wants you to play somewhere in Wisconsin or someplace, you're going to want to do it for Joe.
Go.
There's a lot of guys out there that you would go, hey, heck with that guy, but Joe, I'm grateful.
You know them all very well.
And he's there for you, and he's a good guy, man. He has his foot in a bunch of doors, and it really works out well, I think, for you. But I did have a question. So on some of your stuff, I'm hearing you're doing these songs. Do you ever think about bringing 3 gals along with you, or 3 guys along with you for some of the background parts of the songs?
Yeah, well, there are some shows every once in a while where I do bring people with me if the theater wants it. Sometimes I do. This Christmas, I'm doing a show in Palm Coast, Florida, and I'm gonna have 3 young ladies behind me, and we'll do something cool together. But a lot of the arrangements that Charlie wrote, he wrote them so that the kind of the horns cover the parts that maybe the singers would have. So for me, I'd rather bring extra horns and extra band than extra singers, because I love big band. And actually one of the Christmas shows I'm doing, for the very first time, I'm bringing a 15-piece band on stage.
Wow.
So never done this before, and it's actually my hometown, or right next to it. It's in Yorktown, New York, and we're doing 2 shows at 3 and 7, and I'm bringing a 15-piece orchestra to do this Christmas spectacular. I guess
it's like remove Brian Setzer and the guitar, put in Chris in the voice, and go have a great time. Seriously.
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to that, and this whole Christmas season. I mean, it's like I said before, it's my favorite time of the year.
Ours too, man, in every way.
I have another question though, Chris. So you're young, and through your early life and to this point, there have been some incredible talent shows. The Voice, America's Got Talent,
American Idol.
Good point.
American Idol. So did you ever think about doing that route?
Yeah, it was thought about, and we talked about it, but what we realized was a lot of the people who have done those shows, after they're on the show, you maybe don't hear about them again. You think of so many of the great singers that were on the show, and you just stopped hearing about them after the show. And it really comes down to having a great manager, because without a great manager, you can't really do a whole lot. And having a presence in the public, and for me, it's been such a blessing to have Facebook, because that for me has kept me connected with everyone. So Facebook is kind of like my America's Got Talent, or The Voice, as far as capturing the people's attention and being able to connect with them. So no, I'm not on one of those shows on TV, but I have Facebook where I post a lot of videos. And I post every single day, at least one post, and never miss. And I reply to almost every single comment. I try to post.
So
well, good on you.
Yeah,
that's great with the Facebook.
Sure.
It's funny when you're our age. I mean, Susan, we spoke before, and Susan says to me, "Oh, Paul, you got so many happy. My birthday was yesterday. You got so many happy birthdays on Facebook. I mean, on and on. Well, I don't even know how to get to them." I haven't seen one of them.
I'm kind of really glad that you didn't go that route, Chris, because a lot of young singers, and I've known a couple who have been on the show. And one of the things that the shows tend to want to do is mold you and create an image for you and take, and so you get there having worked at who you are up until this point, And then, and in my buddy's case, she was like, I don't want to be who they envision me to be.
Yeah.
And you are so incredibly personably who you are, and connected to your music.
Yeah.
It wouldn't, I don't think it would
Thank
serve
you. Yeah, I mean, obviously I wouldn't change. This is who I am and what I like, of course. And hey, if the opportunity ever came along, I would say, why not? Let's do it. But I don't think it's a dream of mine, and it's not something I'm trying to do, I guess.
Right on,
Cool.
right on.
Do you play any instruments?
I don't. In school, I did play trumpet and sax when I was younger in middle school. And I haven't picked up a trumpet or a sax in years, so I don't know if I can play them anymore.
You don't need to, kid.
But I've wanted to pick up the trumpet because I was pretty good at it, and now I dabble around on the piano a little bit, but not enough to play in the show. I probably would. The audience would throw tomatoes at me. So,
do you take your voice? Are you given a natural singing voice? I mean, we kind of were, to be honest with you. And or have you had to train yourself and go through a vocal coach and have vocal training and get better that way? Because it works for a lot of people.
I didn't have a vocal coach until it came time to recording my first album. Joe said, we have to get you a coach because we got to get your voice up to par because you're going to record an album, and an album is forever. So you want to sound your best on it, and maybe learn ways to sing and hit different notes easier, or maybe sing a little higher if the vocal coach could get you there. So in the beginning, actually, yes, my vocal coach was Bucky Hurt of the Righteous Brothers, and I'm sure you guys have met him. You guys know him.
I know Bucky.
Yeah, we just saw Bill.
Bucky was my vocal coach, and
my God,
and I still work with Bucky, and I have another coach as well now, and we do a lesson once a week, actually for a half hour or an hour, and just
tell him we said hi.
And just go over stuff. Yeah, I will.
I have to say, we did cross paths with a guy named Seth Riggs at one point in our career, and I have to say that after that all stopped, there are things that he said to this day that I remember and can imitate and reproduce, and just things stick with you when you get any kind of vocal training at all.
Absolutely. It's really important. No matter how good you are, you can always get better.
Yeah, when we went to Seth, all I remember from Seth was him saying to me, you just don't have any vibrato. You don't have natural vibrato. And I'm looking at him, dude, I'm not even coming back to you.
Okay, well, what Seth Riggs told me, the way he wanted me to sing so I could save my voice, because I think I was in the process of destroying it. I was 18, and I told Seth, I said, Seth, if I sang the way you wanted me to sing, nobody'd really want to hear me sing. So our thing was just slightly different.
Nay, 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 nay. And this is Seth. I'm imitating Seth, by the way, with his hand.
Yes.
Reminds me of Patrick Mahomes after he's done a play. He says, do this with his fingers. That's Seth Riggs. Anyway.
That's so funny. We do the same thing, though. That's just
okay. Chris Ruggiero Sings.com.
Yes.
It's a great website. And look, by the way, he's always got a show coming up. Don't think it's going to ever say no shows when you go to this guy's website. That ain't going to happen at all, ever. So you got to go there, or I guess Facebook too, right?
Yeah, Facebook and my website, Instagram, anywhere. Yeah, but the website's really where all the shows are. And you can see all my shows on there, where I'm going to be, and my CDs are on there if you'd like to listen to any of my songs.
You can hear them, what we're talking about.
You're playing with the Letterman. We love Bobby and the gang.
Love the Letterman.
Yeah, I'm playing with the Letterman. I think in March. I forgot off the top of my head. On the Christmas season now. But yeah, we've got a show together, another show together. So there's always more shows going up. So that's why I tell people, keep looking on the website, and we post on Facebook, and we post on my Patreon page first whenever there's a show that comes on, and because we want to let you know, we want you to be there.
You are busy. You are busy in Christmas, young man. You have a ton of Christmas shows.
17
and are they all
shows.
Christmas songs?
Well, I'm sorry. What was that?
Are they all Christmas songs?
Oh no. I think the show is about 70% Christmas songs.
Okay.
60-70% Christmas songs. So I'll still sing my favorite non-Christmas songs from my albums and some other tunes as well. I try and change the show up a little bit every year with different songs. But the Christmas show, it's tough because they only made so many good Christmas songs.
I know.
And I
Yeah.
feel like we really sing all the best Christmas songs, and people
Cool.
see it once a year. So if the show is similar to the show, the night before or last year, it's a Christmas show. It's honestly, I would sing the Christmas show all year long. It's my favorite show.
Of course.
Yeah.
And this is a singer who likes to sing. He likes his job. Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
do.
Have you
check
ever
him
thought
out.
of doing any writing? Hang on. Have you ever thought of doing any writing?
I have, and actually, I've sat down with some writers before, and I don't think I was ready for it. And these were really pro writers. They write a lot of stuff for Disney.
You're a
And,
young man, Chris. There's plenty of time.
I think I have to live a little more before I write something great. I don't know, but at some point I would like to. Yeah.
Cool.
Well,
Very
man,
profound
this has been
thoughts
wonderful.
from the 25-year-old square. I love it. Chris, thanks for visiting with all of us. I mean, it's remarkable. And we'll see you out there. We're going to play with you again. I know we will. Joe. And we'll do more of that together too.
Well, I can't wait to see you guys in person, because in person is better than over Zoom.
Absolutely.
And we'll have a lot of good shows together. I hope you guys have a good season with your shows and Christmas shows and whatnot. I know I'll be all over the place. I'll be traveling quite a bit: New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Vegas, Florida. So
Chattanooga choo-choo.
we've got a lot of traveling, and I'm looking forward to it very much.
And this is what we want. See, this is carrying the torch. The three of us are basically going to stay home for the holidays this year. And it's good to know that you're out there carrying it on. I'm serious about that. I love it.
Well, send me some strength and good voice, because I might need it with all the shows we have. But
absolutely, sweetie.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much for having me on.
We loved having you, Chris.
Look them up and go down the deep dive. It's a fun one.
Bye, guys. See you next week. Bye, sweet pie.